what then happens when you consider the really stiff sanctions that have been placed against Russia? What happens to Russian debt? Because you may be in a stalemate in the country, but boy, I mean, there's some pretty tough action being taken against Russia right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's been, obviously a lot of surprises. The economic sanctions, I think the West probably underestimated how impactful they're going to be. Like they wanted to go as hard as they could. Economic sanctions typically don't have that much impact. This stuff did, and it was principally because they went after the central bank of Russia, effectively shut down the payment system via SWIFT. So there were these questions sort of floating around in terms of, whether not just the Russian government, but whether Gazprom, Russia Railways, all the corporates could pay near-term maturities. And there's a lot of debate about them trying to pay those maturities in rubles rather than dollars. And does that create cross-default? Do CDS obligations hold up? No one really knows. What we're seeing, I think, right in the immediate term is there's an intention from the Russian government to say, no, we're good, we're going to pay it in dollars. But it could be a force majeure sort of situation because the banking system's shut down. They're showing intent, but the dollars can't flow. They're definitely trying to pay the coupons, but if they can't settle them in 2 days' time, you could still end up in a default situation. And they're probably just playing for time. There's a lot more maturities into early April. So there's various channels, commodities, banking system, capital markets, bond default, and then obviously the geopolitics of it. So it's still a very live situation. I'm not trying to downplay it at all. The market's getting some reprieve because I think the one thing the market has figured out is that, the idea was, okay, we're going to take out the biggest commodity exporter in the world. And so commodity prices have to rally by they have to double or whatever, and that's what happened. But I think the markets over the past 2 weeks realized that you're also taking out one of the biggest sources of demand for commodities being China, because China and Russia are going to have this sort of bromance. So Chinese demand goes down, oil doesn't go to $200 necessarily. So, but Nadine, there's a lot going on. It's a very dynamic situation and it's unprecedented. We're still grappling with it day in, day out. It remains the predominant sort of macro narrative, in the world right now.